Now, there's one car company that I think has their entire lineup figured out. It's going to be Mazda. I mean, go from the Mazda 3, beautiful little hatchback. Of course, the visibility rear backwards is not the best, but I don't care because it looks so good. Coda design language. You have the Mazda CX-50, CX-70, CX-90, beautiful cars. Every single Mazda, also when you step into them and drive them, for some reason they sprinkle this sportiness on every single model. So every Mazda I've been driven and reviewed the past couple of years feels very sporty to drive, and that goes for this as well. The smallest SUV that they have, this being the CX-30 in pearl white, looking beautiful with the blacked out graphics. So what we're going to do in this video is have a look at this design from a front, side, rear. Of course, the interior, which, by the way, has this old classic layout to it, which I don't think they're going to keep for the next generation. Hopefully they do. Not so sure. We're going to have a look at that interior as well before we take this for a drive. I'm going to let you know exactly what the sportiness of every single Mazda is all about. The Mazda CX-30 is powered by a 2.5-liter turbo inline-4, putting out 227 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. It's connected to a 6-speed automatic transmission. Thankfully, we don't have a CVT in this one. Great to see that. All-wheel drive, 0 to 60 takes about 5.5 seconds. Not bad at all. So fuel economy comes in at 22 city, 30 highway, and the price for this one is $36,950. In case you missed it, my 11-hour online class in design sketching is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as a big pen and cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Over the years, I've taught thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. Now, starting with the front end design and this Coda design language that I always loved from Mazda, is still intact here with the small CX-30. It looks very beautiful. There is nothing crazy going on. What Mazda are great at doing is, not adding fake vents onto their vehicles. So you can see that right here. Everything is functional. I love the blacked out grille that we have here with this shelf up top, and it looks beautiful in pearl white in the sunshine. We also have this blacked out portion in the lower section, everything being functional. We have the radar integrated in the Mazda logo right here for the adaptive cruise control. Open grille up top, open at the bottom as well, and of course full LED headlights with these pulsating indicator lights that I think look so subtle and so classy. When you're behind a Mazda, you can see the pulsating indicator LED. It just looks beautiful. Even though the CX-30 has been around for a while now, I don't feel like this needs a refresh, because the design is it's almost a timeless design with the very fluid and subtle Coda design language that we have here. We have these two lines in the hood going down, connecting to the corner of the grille. And we also have the proportions of this looking like a proper, beautiful, small little hatchback, or SUV in this case. If we were to remove the cladding of it and lower it a little bit, it would essentially be a Mazda 3, which in my opinion is one of the most beautiful hatchbacks on the market today, and that design language definitely brings over to the CX-30. Now, coming up close and personal with this headlight unit right here, this to me looks like the eyeball of a transformer with this round light right here. Beautiful. We also have this nice shelf and housing for the headlight unit itself. You can see just how deep inside of the body the headlight sits. I love to see it. I also like that we don't have the indicator light integrated in the main headlight unit. Instead, that is all the way down here with this very subtle strip of LEDs that again has this nice pulsating design to it. Now, coming around to the side view, and just look at the proportions of this. Isn't this a beautifully sketched out SUV? I mean, the proportions look just spot on. If you have the quintessential small SUV, these would be the proportions for that. And I also like the line flow that we have and the surfacing, very soft surfacing right here, one key line at the bottom right here, and we have this blacked out graphics in the lower section. One thing I would definitely switch out on this one is you see the wheel design. They are 18-inch. We have two 15mm wide tires. However, black wheels, we've talked about it before. I think it's played out. I want to see more gunmetal, more silver wheels, and these are not the most beautiful looking wheels either, in my opinion. It's a good thing because you can't even see it because it's blacked out, but I would definitely switch out these wheels to something more with a brighter finish for the spokes. Even though I do want to switch out the wheel and tire setup for this, I want to have a little bit wider tires, maybe 225, 235s maybe would look very cool with some silver wheels on this. What I do like when it comes to the black graphics are the rest of the graphics on this vehicle. We have this front end that we talked about being blacked out, and also the side mirror, the caps for the side mirror is also blacked out with this nice LED, same type of LED like we have in the front end, just one tiny LED bar integrated in the side mirror. We also have the blacked out graphics here going around the greenhouse, but only in the top portion. In the lower section, it's actually dark chrome. Very interesting to see the combination of both. You have the roof rails up top, additionally being black, and a standard size sunroof all the way up top. But let me know what you think about these proportions. Do you think this would work for another 2 or 3 years when it comes to the design language? I think everything about this vehicle just looks proper. It still looks very modern, and I don't feel like Mazda needs to refresh this. And I hope they still keep the interior features like we have here. Just gonna have a look at it in a minute. Coming around to the rear view of the CX-30, I think it's a beautiful design back here as well. You can't really see any sort of sharp lines in that rear end design, except for this line right here that then continues into the side. You can see that this line going here, going through the rear axle into the side line that we have in the lower section of the side. Nice, beautiful line flow right there. But everything else is very smooth, very organic, and very bubbly design. But for some reason, it doesn't look weird. It looks beautiful on the CX-30. If I had to change anything in the rear end, it's going to be the badging. I would probably just remove the chrome badging here, CX-30 all-wheel drive. You have the Sky Active Turbo on that side. It's just a little too many badges for me here. But the overall layout, when you look at it from a straight rear view, it does have a pretty solid planted look to it, thanks to this big muscle over the rear axle. We also have the taillights stretching inwards and horizontally extending the width of the vehicle. And I do like the design of the taillights themselves. I'm not sure if the pulsating indicator light comes out at camera, but I'm sure you've seen this in real life. When you're behind a Mazda, you have this pulsating indicator light, which is special for Mazda. I don't think any other car companies do that. But all the way down low, what I love about this is on the turbo we do have dual exhaust pipes. They're chrome as well, having this very classic layout for this design. I really love to see that. I want to see more exhaust, visible exhaust coming back. It's been a trend the last 5 years. So you hide them more and more, the more EV and hybrid setups we get with cars. But I feel like that trend is slowly changing, and we're starting to come back to having visible exhaust pipes similar to what we have right here, which looks beautiful. So let's open up the trunk here and let's see what this is all about. You do have sort of it's not the most space in this class because we have a very raked rear end. You're going to get about, I do believe, 45 cubic feet of space, which is not too bad at all. I mean, that is definitely going to house, be able to carry everything that I personally need for this. Other than that, there's really not a lot to talk about back here. You don't have any sort of outlets. You do have a spare tire underneath this carpet down here, or this floor. And that is honestly pretty much it for the trunk space of the CX-30. It is, of course, power assisted. So let's close this back down and let's talk about one of my favorite things about every Mazda these days, and that is going to be the interior design that thankfully that is still stuck around with for the 2025 CX-30. So let's jump in and have a look at that. Today in 2025, Mazda definitely has some of the best interiors in the business, in my humble opinion. The reason being, it is such a simple and beautiful looking layout. We have the 10.2 inch infotainment screen right there. We have the gauge clusters being semi-digital, a couple of analog features right there, beautifully laid out. And look how this swoops around it here with this curvature up top, looking beautiful, going into the center portion of the dash right there. Just a stunning, simple layout. Personally, I don't need anything else than that. This one comes equipped with 12 speaker Bose premium sound system. You can see it right here. Look at the door handle trim, how it goes into the trim of the door here as well, the door handle itself. Up and down windows, mirror controls here as well, cup holders in the lower section, and we do have these leather seats with the power assist, power adjustments right here at the lower section. CX30 floor mats right there. So let's jump in and have a look at this in more detail. And just check this out. I mean, isn't this a great interior? It's uncluttered. It gives me a peace of mind just looking at this. And this is what I want Mazda to keep for the next generation CX30 as well, which I don't think, unfortunately, I do think they're gonna go into more of a dual screen setup. We've seen it with the Mazda CX, I think it's sold in China. I think that had some of that integrations that I don't want to see Mazda include in their upcoming models. But I don't know, we're gonna have to wait and see. So up top, to a 10.2-inch infotainment screen right there, wireless Apple CarPlay, great to see that. We can go into the native system of Mazda right here. You do have touchscreen when you are, actually you don't have touchscreen even when you are in park anymore. Only when you have it in Apple CarPlay is the touchscreen available. Instead, you're using this rotary dial, which again, it's not the hardest thing to navigate because it's such a simple layout. You have navigation right here, go into that. You have the native navigation, you have quick buttons here, so if you want to go to the home screen, for example, just click the home button right there. Going back, you can go in and change the settings here. I have some of the safety settings turned off. As you can see right there, we have the collision warning off and also the lane keep assist, which I cannot stand. I can't stand pretty much any lane keep assist system, because as soon as you go, if you, for example, going around a cyclist or something, the steering wheel is gonna start shaking at you, even though you know what you're doing. You're driving the car yourself, so I always turn that off myself. Now going back home, we do have some more settings here as well: communication, entertainment, and settings to connect your phone. And you just push it down like this, boom, and that means we're going back into Apple CarPlay, as you can see right there. Beautifully laid out. I like the horizontal widescreen format, means that it doesn't stick up too much. And we have soft touch materials up top, and also here, very, very spongy. You can see my finger here, just how soft this area is of the car, giving it this quality feel that I'm not used to seeing in this price range for $37,000. And this is also one of my favorite features of Mazda's, is just this separated unit for climate settings. Very easy to adjust the temp. You have fan speed up and down right here, heated steering wheel, and heated seats in 3 different levels as well. Hazard button right there, start stop button, and the integration of the vents look beautiful as well right here, and also around the gauge cluster. Fantastic, absolutely great layout. We don't need to move, we don't need to keep innovating. We can stop right here, please. Mazda, don't do anything crazy with the next generation. You have a wireless charging pad right here, 2 cup holders. The key looks like this, typical Mazda key right here, Mazda on the logo on the back. You have a lock, unlock, open the trunk, panic button right there, and that is pretty much it for the key. Very standard looking Mazda key right there. Now you do have reverse camera, obviously, and you also have 360 view with the Premium Plus trim like we're driving today, and the camera is actually really good. It's way better than the Lexus LX for $120,000 that I reviewed just last week, I do believe. This is a much better resolution than that. So the features you get for the price point, I do think is pretty cool. You have the parking brake right here, of course, auto hold at red lights, volume knob right there, and you have, love this as well, you have sport on and off. Those are the 2 drive modes you have. Either you want to have it in sport or you don't want to have it in sport. You don't have 52 different options to choose from. We don't need that in a Mazda CX-30. Love to see it. Up top, we have a standard size sunroof. Show you that from the outside. Don't really care for this myself. I would much rather have it be covered up. Area to store your shades, some LED lights here as well, looking beautiful. Now looking at the center armrest, you can slide this back and forth, so you do have access to it even though it's closed. We can of course also open it up like this. You're gonna give 2 USB-C ports right there, and you also have this separation unit right here, which you can take out if you want to do that. I'm gonna keep it in for now. Not the biggest storage, but it's totally fine for a small SUV like this. I like to have this be all the way in the forward position because it gives me more support for my arm. Now look at the seat design. Beautiful looking seats, nothing crazy going on here. Heated, of course. You do have some decent side support in this case. I don't feel like I need more support than this in a CX-30, so that's beautiful to see. I also like the subtle brown leather that we have on the armrest right here with the contrast stitching. Just subtle details like that makes it feel more upscale than what it actually is. We talked about the gauge cluster already. You can press this info button right here. It's gonna switch up some of the information you see in the middle, and that is pretty much all the customization you have. I like to keep it in this, because now we just have a speedometer there, and tachometer analog to the right side, fuel gauge, temp gauge on the right side, also analog. Beautifully done. Paddles for the 6-speed automatic on the sides, up and down, and we have the washer right there on the right side, and we have the indicator stalk, of course, on the left side. And I do like this indicator click noise. It feels like two bamboo sticks just hitting each other. It's a very satisfying sound, in my opinion. The steering wheel looks great. Small, thin steering wheel. We have the cruise control settings here, adaptive cruise control, of course, for the Premium Plus. Then you have the volume knobs and some radio settings, voice command right there on the left side. Beautiful Mazda logo in this nice circular position in the middle. Glove box, proper size glove box. In this case, I can show you the sticker if you want to freeze it right here. You can see all the options with the destination and delivery and all of that. Handling fee $38,995. Without it, you have $36,950. Beautiful car. Absolutely beautiful car. Mazda always delivers great value. Doesn't matter what model you go with. Personally, if I was buying a Mazda SUV, I would 100% go with the CX-70. I think that is a stunning looking design. It's also the 2-row instead of the 3-row you get in the CX-90. Now looking at the rear seats here, plenty of space for this package. I don't feel like I need more space in the back since this is, you know, the smallest SUV. So jumping in here behind my own driving position, it is a little bit tight, I would say. I mean, you don't have plenty of legroom, obviously, but I would probably not buy this if I was expecting to have 6-foot plus people in the back seat while I'm the driver. Headroom is much better than leg space for sure. We have a cardo portion here in the roof, which obviously helps with the headspace. And if we fold down the center armrest, you're going to find yourself two beautiful cup holders right there, in addition to a couple of vents. No climate settings down here, which I don't expect for, you know, $37,000. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design, and Mazda still just crushing it. Doesn't matter if the design is 5 years old or whatever. I think they're still doing a great job with the exterior, and also more so, I would say, the interior design right here. So with that said, let's take this for a drive and let's see what that is all about. Mazda is by far one of my favorite brands right now when it comes to pretty much everything, and also fun to drive. I mean, drifting around like this on the gravel, it's pretty fun when you have all-wheel drive. So 230 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque from a 2.5 liter turbo inline 4. And honestly, I don't feel like you need more power than that. This is great power, 230 horsepower in this package. All I need, 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds. Do you need that to be faster than that? No, not really. I mean, it's a CX-30. You're not gonna take this on the track anyway. So it's a great vehicle for what you're getting. And I also think that even if you were to step up to the CX-50, for example, which I think the design of the CX-50 is a little bit tighter than the CX-30, with the sculpted fenders. I think that looks so good. Also one of my favorite, probably my favorite design in that class. Even if you were to step up to that, you still get a super sporty driving experience that I personally I never expect Mazda SUVs to be this sporty as they are, and so is this one. It feels like a you know, proper hatchback when you're driving it. I love to see it. And for the next generation, hopefully they're gonna keep sprinkling that sportiness onto their vehicles, and also keep this interior layout. Please, Mazda, do not mess up the interiors for the next generation. Keep this is like, if I could choose myself, this would be peak technology / design. I don't want more technology than this. This is already too much tech for me. You know, I turned off the not the traction control, but the collision warning that automatically brakes if it senses, you know, a car in front of you or behind you. I also turned off the lane keep assist. Don't need those features. I never felt like I needed those to assist my driving. But other than that, the tech in here are perfect. I do like the adaptive cruise control because it's very relaxing on the highway to just turn that on, and it does all the, you know, braking and pacing for you with the car in front of you. When it comes to value, Mazda is probably, in my opinion, the #1 brand, or also the South Korean brands, for example, the Hyundais and the Kias, they have such great value when it comes to just features you get for the price point. Mazda has always been that type of way, while Kia Hyundai has recently stepped it up to become part of that group where you get such great tech and features for a very, very reasonable price. But the thing to me that makes Mazda stand out even more is just the interior layout. While Hyundai and Kia, they're both transitioned to this dual screen setup. In this case, we still have this traditional layout, which in every single time I always prefer this layout over the new type of dual screen setups that we have in pretty much every single manufacturer these days. Now, if we floor it here, we do have plenty of power, as I said. Don't feel like I need more power than that in a CX-30. It's smooth. I love that we have a proper 6-speed automatic transmission and not a CVT. To me, that is a huge deal. I cannot stand CVT gearboxes, in case you didn't know and haven't watched my videos before. But the 6-speed in this, I don't feel like we need more gears, or definitely do not need the CVT gearbox. And while we're cruising here 50 miles per hour, super comfortable, no problems at all. One thing though that I would want to Mazda to work a little bit better on is the fuel tank, the fuel capacity. When you get this with a full tank, it's about 250 miles of range. I want to see that increase to at least 320 miles of range or something like that, because the fuel tank is just tiny in this CX-30, which is fine, I guess. It's not a huge deal, but that is the biggest negative I have to say about the CX-30, because, as I said, the entire lineup of Mazda is some of my favorite cars these days. They're just crushing it when it comes to pretty much everything that I personally care about. If I was in the market for a, you know, everyday point A to point B car today, I would probably get a Mazda, to be honest. I would probably get the Mazda CX-70 or the CX-50 if I was looking for an SUV. Unfortunately, the Mazda 6 is dead. But if it was just me wanting, you know, a fun car to drive on a day-to-day basis that is reasonably priced, there's just one car in the Mazda lineup, and that would be the Mazda 3. The Miata is great. It's a great car. Love to review those every single time, but I would have the Miata as just a weekend car, maybe not a daily driver. For a daily driver, I 100% prefer the Mazda 3 hatchback, and I would go for the turbo. Now, I do know you cannot get the turbo. Unfortunately, I don't understand why. It would be a great hatchback if you could get the Mazda 3 turbo with the manual transmission, but unfortunately, it's only available with the front-wheel drive, less powerful Mazda 3 hatchback. So I would still go with the automatic and the turbo, because it has 250 horsepower. Feels a lot more sporty than the non-turbo. So with that said, if you're in the market for a fun to drive, beautiful looking little SUV with a traditional layout, simple, minimalist, still with personality interior, go and check out the Mazda CX-30. Even though it's been on the market for a while, I don't think they need to update this. I still think it's one of the best small SUVs on the market today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.